Good morning, ladies, and welcome to the Digital Toolkit for 2020, Ranking Australia. We have myself, Katrina Baranek, and we have Amanda Lowry as well, our branding specialist, as a guest speaker today. So would you like to quickly introduce yourself, Katie?
Oh, hi. I'm Katie Grundy with Office Kitchen Services. Anything else?
Thanks,
Yeah.
Katie. And we also have Nikki. Hi, how are you? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Nikki, and I have been working with Katrina for a number of months as a virtual assistant.
Thanks, Nikki. And you have your own company as well as a virtual assistant at your Deluxe VA?
Correct, yeah.
And how long have you been operating?
12 months now.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, exciting.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been good.
Good.
So without further ado, Amanda, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So as Katrina mentioned, my name is Amanda Lowry. I'm specifically a brand strategist working with small businesses to really harness their purpose and get their brand strategies and their foundation established from the get-go. So everything that you do moving forward, you've got clear direction on, and you can really start to build a valuable brand for your business, and give you immense clarity in all the marketing tools that you have moving forward.
Excellent.
Thanks, Amanda. So just with a quick intro, and then I'll hand it back over to you. So ladies, as you know, the Digital Toolkit will be more regular this year. I think last year we had one event every month. We are aiming to kick those up a notch with 2, perhaps 3 every month. So keep an eye out on your emails, as I do let you know, and all our clients get free access to these sessions, as well as yours too, Amanda. So keep an eye out for that. So can everyone see my screen, the Digital Toolkit image in front of you?
Yep.
Can everyone see my screen? Yes?
Yes, yeah, I can see it. Sorry.
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
Just funny.
I can't think in this humidity.
Today's session is obviously about learning how to brand like a pro with Canva as well. So we will have a short intro with Amanda covering the concepts and the depth of developing your brand. And then following that, we will have a live demonstration of some examples of how Ranking Australia has helped establish brands online, and some of the tools that we use in Canva, and also some live demonstrations of those tools, and creating a branding kit within Canva. So lots of fun to look forward to. Any questions, please feel free to pipe up. I will.
Sorry, Amanda, you said we can ask questions along the way?
Yes, please do.
Okay, great.
So just to let you girls know as well that both Amanda and myself are ASBA's digital advisors as well, and we are accessible through the ASBA's program. As a small business with less than 20 employees, you're able to access the ASBA's program, which gives you 2 hours of support, digital support, advice, workshops, webinars, per month, and up to 24 hours of support throughout till the end of the program. So please take use of that, because you're getting basically heavily subsidized sessions through government funding in the ASBA's program. So really exciting stuff. And I'll hand it over to, I think I went one step too far. There we go. Sorry.
It's all right. All good. That's the first one anyways that we're going to discuss. So there we go. Nice little intro. So what I'm going to really talk to you both about first is really understanding the fundamentals of what builds a brand, because it's really understand those components. So like I mentioned before, when you are going out marketing, you've got this solid foundation that's just going to set the tone for you moving forward, and ultimately provide that clarity. A lot of the time, many of our clients come to us because they're overwhelmed, they're confused, they didn't realize how many elements there were to building a brand for their business. So when we can really break it down and understand each element, it just makes it so much easier. And helps you to make better business decisions as well, in regards to, you know, partnering with certain people or where to advertise and market your business. These are all elements that a brand should be helping you to really leverage from, and make really beneficial and positive outcomes for your business moving forward. So I'll move on to slide 2. So the first thing that we want to make sure of is to cover the misconceptions of what a brand actually is. And because we hear this all the time. Oh, that one. Yeah, there we go. Because we hear this all the time, and, you know, even just looking at comments and people asking for feedback on social media, they're always referring to their brand to their logo, or getting a trademark. Or on a broader aspect, their visual identity. And while these are important elements or components to a brand, it's not the entire brand itself. So it's important for us from the get-go and to start these branding journeys that we need to sort of switch our mindset to not think that our logo is the be-all and end-all of our brand, and nor is a trademark. What a brand is ultimately that feeling that people get when they interact with your business. It's, you know, there's a saying that goes around, you know, what would someone talk about or say about your business if you weren't in the room? How would they describe you? And, you know, the feeling is actually what builds the loyalty and what brings people back to you all the time. I'm sure that you've both had experiences where you've hired someone or you've engaged with someone because they felt like the right fit. Sometimes you can't articulate exactly what it is that you love about that person or about that business, or about that product, but you just get a good feeling about it. And this is because their brand has strategically placed all of these elements, including a logo, in place to help you to feel the feeling that they want you to have. Car brands are a great example for this. You know, people don't typically buy Mercedes to drive themselves from point A to point B. If they were to do that, they'd buy a much lesser, cheaper car. It's obvious it's there to, feed a feeling, and to feed something that they're looking to feel when driving and things like that. So any questions so far on that? Or we're good?
No.
Makes sense though?
Yes.
I've learnt something already.
Wonderful, that's great. So we'll jump to the next slide.
You have control, by the way. I've given.
Oh, do I? Oh, okay. Oh, wonderful. Oh, there we go.
It would make it a bit easier.
Oh, cool. Okay. That makes it a ton easier. Oop. Can I click? Oop. I can't seem to change that slide. Sorry.
Arrow on the right-hand side.
Yep. No.
Interesting.
It's not letting me click it. Sorry.
That was what I had happened before.
That's right. So I've got a diagram to show you. And this is a tool that we use for all of our clients to help with the overwhelm, and to explain all the different areas and the components that build up a brand.
Apologies. Technical difficulties.
Technology.
So I have a question while we're waiting.
Yeah, go for it.
Would you, I'm, you know, with my own business, would you go for a particular feeling? Like, would you aim to want to induce that feeling in people, or is it something that just comes naturally by building your brand?
So everyone's going to have a feeling or a certain perception of you and your business already, whether you've intentionally done it or not. When we build these brand strategies, it's all about intentionally wanting them to do something or to feel something. But it's also because we understand, or we seek to understand, what our market want to feel, so we can better appeal and attract to them. So that's how we can, obviously when we get through the slides, how we can help to position ourselves in an industry. It's because if we can assist to understand our clients better than our competitors do, or maybe we can offer some value, or, have a uniqueness about us that we can offer that they can't. It's all about a number of different things. But I think the answer to your question is we do want to be controlling that perception that we build, and ultimately that feeling that we create for them. Because we're choosing we're just showing that we understand what they're looking for. We get them. People want to know that we get them and we get their needs, and we've got a solution to their problems. So the diagram that you see there, it's got we call it the 6 Ps, and it looks at your purpose, the planning, perception, the personality, the presence, and then of course promoting your brand. A lot of the time, or every time I should say, we start here at the purpose, and this is all about you and your business. We're not thinking about marketing, we're not thinking about the clientele. This is all about us. Especially because you've just, you're 12 months in the process, Nikki. This is a great place for you to be right now. And even Katie, being pre-existing in business, it's always a good thing to reflect back on this from time to time. Usually I like to advise my clients to reflect back on this on a yearly basis, using that mid-financial year as a good pinpoint to do that, because it just helps to ground us. Because I don't know about you, but I can always get carried away and flustered, and new things come about, and you work with new clients and you just get in that work mode. Sometimes it's very easy for us to sort of lose sight of that brand foundation. So it's always good to have that purpose to come back to. So when we're talking about the purpose for us, we're looking at our vision. What kind of business and brand do we want to be creating? Do we plan for this business to just be us? Do we plan to employ people down the track? Do we plan to keep it in Australia, take it international? We've had clients come to us before where they've built their business for a particular region, like Brisbane or Australia, but they get to a point and they go, well, we actually want to expand overseas or interstate, but because their brand positioning really pinpoints them to a particular location, for example, they're now having to rebrand to just do that simple repositioning. Then if we can try to articulate that at the very beginning of a brand, when we start to develop it, it makes it a lot easier for that brand to continue to grow long into the future. Because ultimately that's what we want. We want a brand to be this living thing that's always moving and evolving and growing with our business and our clients. Apple as a brand are, a credit to that, and they're an amazing brand for what they do. But it's because they had a very clear vision and mission as to what they really wanted to achieve out of that. The next one we look at are the values that we want to uphold within our business. So, these values could be anything from quality. A lot of our clients, they've got a strict quality control, really wanting to deliver a quality product or a quality service. Sometimes it's about to deliver on commitments that they make. That's a value of theirs. The advice I would give to your values is to not just have them as simple words that you use on your website or on your social media. They should have substance to them. And you should know and understand why these are of value to your business. So if it's quality, for example, that's going to mean something different for every business. It could mean for you that, you value a quality service because you love to help people achieve their dreams or whatever it may be. So that's why that's a value to your business. So it's got to mean something, and it's going to stand for something. And if you do look to build a team down the track, it makes it much easier for them to understand the brand that they're stepping into, if you can really articulate why these things are of value. Because your values will actually trickle through your entire brand as we move forward. And I'll get to that as we go through the areas. And the other key point with your purpose is understanding the history or where you've come from, especially if we're starting a business, or if we're, you know, quite a way through our business. It's always good to understand where we've come from and how far we've come. People buy into the story, they buy into why we do business. And we can really stem from our experience or our unique qualities from this history as well. So Nikki, for you, you've been there for 12 months, but I'm sure you're not fresh to it. You come with a wealth of knowledge and experience. So it's really good to understand that history that you've gone through, and so you can understand those elements that would be of value to your clients moving forward. All make sense and
Yeah.
in the process? Wonderful. Okay, so now that we understand you really, really well, we need to then put a plan in place. And this is where we look to really structure your offerings, so the services that you provide. Many of our clients typically come to us with a list of services, and these are just listed on a flyer or they're listed on a website. Then we really look to go, well, how can we structure these offerings into a simple and branded experience for your clients? Another big sort of value or component to the businesses we work with is simplicity. They really want to make things simple. So structuring your offerings into 3 packages, for example, is a really great way to guide and structure that user experience, and really simplify it for the market. But once again, that can be done in a number of different ways, depending on your business, how you want to structure your business moving forward, and what kind of clientele you're looking to attract as well.
Can I,
yeah.
Amanda?
Sure.
So you're talking about the offerings and obviously planning your business, talking about the strategy of how you would approach those service offerings. So I think one of the important lessons that I learned with my own business, and I continue to share with my clients or anyone that I meet, in when they're getting ready for the promotions, because it's quite often that is one of the biggest challenges in understanding what or defining their service offerings, because they need to, I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, I'm an accountant. Tax for you, but what is the pain points? What is the problems that you're solving?
Correct.
That's something that a lot of business owners or people starting out just don't have a clear understanding of what it is, what the problem is that they're solving, and that becomes a huge part, I feel, of that brand identity, because embedding those those challenges or pain points for your clients that you're solving within your entire branding. And I thought it was just important to bring it back to the fact that you need to focus on what problems you're solving, rather than, hey, this is what I do, this is who I am, but more, what is it that you do for your clients? Because you're talking about creating that feeling for your clients as you're promoting your brand. And in order to create that feeling, you need to understand what it is that they want from you. What's the motivations that will turn them in from a passerby into a client?
Yes.
So, really, really important to focus on those pain points as opposed to what are your offerings. I would think that it'd be more about what it is that what problems that you're solving.
100%. So the way in which we sort of take this branding process, if you will, is more of just that sort of offerings, is package them up into the areas that you offer. And then our next segment here, the perception, is exactly that. It's identifying who you are, who your clients are, and the type of industry and the competitors that you're looking at. And then we go back to your planning and structuring phase and go, okay, let's look at the offerings that we've put down. Do these meet the needs and the pain points of the people that we look to attract as well? Because, I mean, using an accountant is a great example, because everyone in business really does need an accountant of some sort. So how do you separate yourself in, you know, in the field and the market of business? So something that an accountant can do on a structuring their offering side is they perhaps might have a package for startups. So they brand it, you know, startup kit for accounting kit for startups or something like that. So that way it's a branded package. It speaks directly to the market because they've identified they want to work with startups. So if there's a startup there looking to compare accountants, they will naturally feel more comfortable with this accounting firm over others because they're speaking directly to them and they're speaking directly to what they're looking for out of an accountant.
So a quick question for you, okay?
Sure.
We're talking about deciding to go with a market niche. My question to you, which was a great decision to make, and it's usually something that people after, say, the first year of business will finally decide that they will stick to that niche. So yeah. What would be the, I guess, what would be the big clue as to where, as a branding specialist, how to decide what that niche is for you?
Yeah, sure. So I think the first 12 to 24 months is a massive learning experience for any new business owner, especially when it comes to sort of the brand. It's really about brand finding, brand discovery through those first 12 to 24 months. And I actually encourage not to stick to anything too much within that period, because you're still finding what kind of business you want to be creating. And through that time, you'll discover the types of clients that you want to work with and ones that you don't wish to work with. We've had plenty of clients that have gone, we're going to target, you know, the high-end market, for example, and then 6 months later they come back and they go, no, we do not want to work with those people. They're too whatever it may be. So sometimes our ideas of what we want and who we want to be targeting can be different to who we actually want to be doing that. So I think in that sort of startup stage, it's just explore. With branding, there is this magic sweet spot that we do find of who do we want to be working with, and then identifying, you know, is it viable? That's the other one. You've got to make sure that product or that partnership is a viable one for your business. But if it is, then definitely look to sort of niche in that field. But the thing that I do say is it doesn't necessarily deter people from you either. It just, people respect that you're focused and that you do have this sort of specialty. And a lot of the time the specialty still does hold a large demographic. And especially if it's just you in the business and you don't plan to grow a team, you might only need 30 clients a year, for example. And that's very achievable within that field, and to specialize within it. And you'll be able to deliver on that time and time and time again. It's all about, building that clarity. Does that answer
thank you.
the question for you?
Thank you.
Good. No, that's a great question. And it's something that, sorry?
Pretty much exactly where I'm at. It seems to, I thought I'd start in one area and I've ended up in a completely different area, which I love a whole lot more. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So just feed into that. Don't resist against it because you've set your business to that channel. I would just sort of
keep going.
Correct. Pivoting is an amazing thing, and that's the thing about branding, is it should never be this one-time thing that you do when it's done. It should always be this growing, moving, you know, ecosystem, or I'm yet to give it a word, but it should be like this living being in your business, because really the only things at the end of the day to keep it consistent that should always stay the same is your name and that brand mark. Everything else behind that can move with the times. You see businesses do it all the time.
I think it's important to change it up every so often as well, so that your followers, your clients, so to speak, do not get bored with your content and your branding as well. It's like changing moods, if you like. So keeps you interesting, keeps you entertaining and engaging. And
completely. Yep.
Especially on social media.
Definitely. And you do want to show that you are staying relevant as well, with technologies and different services that are out there. However, in saying that, building this solid brand foundation will help to guide you on what are the right technologies your brand should be adopting and which ones aren't right for your business. There's a lot of talk around, Katrina, you might have some insight on this, on TikTok, that new social media platform that's out.
I haven't actually had a chance to check that out.
No, I mean, neither have I, but there's been a lot of talk about it, and we've had clients sort of going, is this another social media platform we need to be jumping on? For a lot of our clients, it's a no, just because it's a new thing and it's, it's the buzz and it's the talk, doesn't necessarily mean it's the right fit for your business or the path that you want to be leading.
As far as my perspective on new social media, well, the point of social media is to engage with your followers, to build your business, and well, you're not going to want to put all your eggs in a basket that is still being found, so if you engage with a platform where your clientele are comfortable and they're using on a daily basis, so whether Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, then you know that they're going to be on there and they're comfortable utilizing those tools and within that environment, and they understand the culture behind that particular social media. Yes. So when I say culture within Facebook compared to LinkedIn, it's a very different type of engagement. Yes. Different motivations, different moods, so to speak. So it's important to focus on the ones that are more commonly used and more popular, obviously, with your niche market. So if potentially your target market is using this TikTok, then I would say jump straight in and make an effort of it. But it is different between like when it comes to different industries, so or different service providers. As a digital marketing specialist myself, I am wanting to engage with both LinkedIn and Facebook. But for example, if you're talking about a hairdresser, for example, you want to focus on Facebook less than LinkedIn, because LinkedIn's obviously more of that higher caliber, professional white papers, professional networks, as opposed to social, and focusing on how you look and what people are saying and that sort of thing. So
100%. And it all comes back to that brand foundation that you build, and where you want to be taking your brand moving forward. Because once people do start to get familiar with your brand, if you do something that is so left of field that they don't connect with, they'll sort of sit there and go, oh, what are you doing? Like, I can't connect with you anymore. And it's not that they actually physically sit there and say that. It goes back to that whole, the brand is the feeling. So they no longer feel like they're connected with you because of the move that you've made. However, I mean, there's a few complexities within that, and it's probably more on a business to business basics on that sort of thing, but the general concept is there. That mood is what you keep consistent, but don't be afraid to pivot and to try new things if you believe it's of value to your brand and it adds something to your brand core. because at that purpose that we establish at the start, that's your core. So that should always stay true to you as well. So touching on that, and we're sort of really diving into that, which is amazing, is this sort of perception section here, where we look at our competitors and the types of clients that we want to be attracting. Firstly, when we talk about competitors, it's not in a comparative sort of way. We never want to look at them and go, that's a great way to do it, let's do it like that, because that won't get us anywhere, and it won't help us to separate or position our brand differently to those. Going back, and this is where your perception and the planning segments will overlap quite a bit, because, you know, there's many businesses that I hear where they get onto this price comparison. They're tired of, you know, clients comparing them to other people and other prices, and asking for discounts and those sorts of things. And that's usually a case of they've just listed their services. So if they put them side by side, there's nothing really separating them from one another. So the only other thing to then compare them on is price, right? So this is, you know, going back to the planning and, you know, the price structure. This is how we can also help with that as well. Pricing has this psychological effect with us. If we're paying more, we feel like, back to that feeling, we feel like we're getting a better product or a better service. Whether that's the case or not is irrelevant. It's just that initial feeling of that must be a more quality product if the other brand elements can match it and build up to it. We've had clients in the past where they've priced their products too cheap, but they're actually a very high grade quality product. But the feedback that they were getting was, you know, they couldn't sense that it was a quality product, because they were like, well, it shouldn't be that cheap if it's just a mindset with a lot of consumers. Whether to say he was attracting the right kind of clientele was questionable as well. So this is sort of where all the different areas overlap. But if you can really get clarity and hone in on it all, your pricing should match your clientele, like your clientele value that pricing, the services that you have hit their pain points, provide them the value, and give them a brand culture that they can belong to as well. So going back to your competitors, this is how we can really identify that we position ourselves differently from them. So on a visual standpoint, an exercise that I like to do is I just Google. With clients, we Google that industry. So we did a town planning, and we just went, town planners in Brisbane, because that's where they were based. And then we just went through the top 10, not the ads, but the top 10 ranked agencies in Brisbane. And then we just take a screenshot of their homepage and read through some of their content. And then we look and sort of compare them all to sort of go, if this was like a resume for businesses looking for a town planner, how are they positioning themselves within the market? In this case, a lot of them were very much the same, and it identified that our client was actually positioning right alongside them, even all the way down to how they were visually being perceived as well. So the other thing with the visual component is that you don't want your potential clients to feel like you're the same as others or the same as someone that they've previously experienced. You always want to be trying to give them a fresh new approach if you're new to them. So when we're looking at competitors, that's kind of what we're really wanting to look at, not how we can sort of steal things or take things from their business, but really how can we be positioning, or what kind of gaps are they not delivering on that we know we can deliver a different experience on, because we know our clients. So coming into our clients, it's all about, you know, you may have heard the avatar profiles or just simply client profiles and those sorts of things. It's really trying to understand what kind of client we want. Are they female? Are they male? Are they both? what kind of age bracket do they fall into, something like, you know, what do they like to do on their weekends, in their spare time, what are they looking to do, because this is how we can really, on a social media platform, look to really connect with them on a deeper level apart from just the services that we offer. So mothers do this really well. If they're in, you know, if they've got like a mother product, they come and tell their mother story of having 3 kids and, I don't know, childcare. And I'm not a mother myself, so, but it's, you know, they they come from that sort of, that's how they connect.
They're good at it. Yeah, they are good at that.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, they're good at telling their story.
Completely. So, and other mothers can obviously relate to what they're talking about and the ups and the downs and what have you. So when we're looking at our clients, it's not just about the pain points that we're looking to solve for them, but it's how we can connect on a deeper level with them as well. Maybe they love, you know, they love fast cars or something, or they really value family or something like that. So these are little things that we can incorporate into, you know, our marketing as we go down the track, because we know our clients value that or they like that. And it's just another way that we can help connect better with them and show that we understand who they are.
So using it to inform choices of messages that you're sending, quotes that you pick, or
Correct.
photos that you include, so to speak, and colours and whatnot. Beautiful.
100%. Yep.
I'm probably going to have to remind you to finish up their
Yes.
demo to get to as well.
Yes, of course. I know. I can go and go. So so they were really the 3 parts that I wanted to mention with you today, because the other 3 is really looking at that brand identity, the personality, and then all of your visuals. So your colors, the logo, the typography that you use, and then how you promote it. Maybe, Katrina, we can do that in another webinar, perhaps.
Yeah, and I found you really informative today. I was like, can you keep going?
Wonderful. Well, that's good.
Stop, Katrina. That's not nice.
I said to Katrina, I said, if you give me a platform, I'll talk for weeks on end about it. So got to keep me in line.
We have to have a round 2, definitely, for this session, because there's some great questions, and
yep,
so much to have a chat about when we're talking about building a brand, perhaps.
There really is. We've only really scraped on the surface, but if I can leave you with one thing, and leading into the Canva profiling and the brand assets that you'll create, is consistency. I cannot repeat it enough. Once you build that foundation, it is so important, and it is so valuable to your brand to ensure you keep everything consistent. The messaging and the visuals, the tone you use, how you interact with people, really, really keep it consistent. And the other point that I've got there leading into the content is make sure everything's got a purpose behind it. You know, you can really tell if something's just been posted for the sake of posting. So anything that you're putting out there, make sure that it's got a purpose behind it and that it's in line with the brand that you're creating. Because over time, this brand will build and become a valuable asset for you. Brands are about the long-term game. And I'll leave it there, I promise.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's fine. Thanks, Amanda. Really appreciate your insight and your knowledge that you're sharing with us today about branding. So thank you.
Welcome.
That was great. Thanks, Amanda.
Welcome. Glad.
Developing brand, especially for startups and those in there for a couple of years. So thank you for that. Okay, so ladies, without further ado, we have some examples and some demonstrations in Canva. So believe it or not, the entire presentation today was created in Canva, as you can see here. So what I wanted to share with you naturally was, now we've got Amanda sharing the 6 Ps of preparing your brand or creating your brand identity or entity, I guess, would be probably the best description there. Now, the two of you may or may not know that I've created the Digital Summit Expo as a brand new brand for an event later on this year. So I've had to explore every aspect of those 6 Ps. What is the purpose of the event? So in other words, what does it mean for me? What am I trying to achieve? And then building that into my so what is the structure of my business? What is the business model? And then obviously coming down to perfection. So understanding who the client market or target market is, understanding who my competitors are, and how do I stand out? And then obviously looking at the personality, the tone of voice behind the brand itself. What is it that I'm trying to say, and how am I saying it? So looking at, I'll come back to presence and marketing, but looking at the image that we've got on the screen at the moment. Now, I've used bright and bold colors so that it's exciting. So you can hear the tone of voice there. You can see the logo itself, the DS and E. So that is obviously abbreviation of Digital Summit and Expo, but you've got some technology or pixelated element to the design, which obviously lends itself to technology as much to digital as possible, because that's what the entire event is about. So, well, you've got your Digital Summit, you've got Digital Expo, you've got digital experts there, you've got a lot of networking around the digital industry, and it's targeted at small business, small and medium business. So obviously putting digital experts in front of small business community here in Queensland and creating opportunities for them to engage with the digital industry. So when I have here, Innovate Your Digital Toolkit, so both of you have, or 3 of you, sorry, have attended the Digital Toolkit today. So it's about strategy, it's about building your tools for your business. So communicating that message and generating that feeling that for your clients that they need tools to build their business. If they want to succeed online, then they need to have a prepared strategy or toolkit, as I've said there. So and then obviously creating the personality or and the web presence. So who was involved? What is the structure of the actual event itself? I've got the photos here, including all of the speakers. I do realize there's a double up there. This is due to be edited, so forgive that. But it's the message is there, you know. So it's a very clear consistency with the colors. It's consistency with the spacing between the elements in the image. You've got a picture in the background there of the actual auditorium where it's being delivered, and you kind of get an idea of, or a suggestion of, the sheer size of the event. So coming back to what is the purpose, and then this image will actually be used for promotion. So promoting the event, so marketing it on different platforms, keeping it consistent by way of the colors being used, by way of the logos being the same, by way of the typography. So what is the font that you're using should be consistent. So if you can, if you're familiar with Canva, you would know that you've got a lot of tools that you can use, but very few people actually understand the depth and power of Canva that you can actually implement. So just having a look here at another example of the font being the same. It's different, obviously, to the top one, but it's still consistent. I'm carrying across some of the images there, so it's familiar when people see it, but it gives it some added value and continues that story that you want to tell. Here are some Facebook posts. So again, with the colors are consistent, the font, the energy is the same. Okay, so the mood is the same. It's still exciting. It's still bold and still lending itself towards promoting the actual event. So the purpose of the marketing is the same. And then what is the offerings, the service offerings? So what is the scope of what we're trying to provide to our clients? What are the pain points? So one of the, so in this one here, one of the hardest things for people to establish consistently is digital brand development. So it still stays within the digital category, if you like, and it's lending some more value to your clients. And then you can add links in the actual slides. You can, I mean, you've got a variety of ways you can actually export these. You can create videos, animations. JPEG is perfect for your websites, fully compressed. You can actually control the compression down
So
to.
can we let that send you links through as well if you save it as a JPEG?
JPEG, no, sadly. You have to save it as a PDF.
Okay, and then it will put your link through. Thanks.
Indeed. So you. All right, so this button here, you apply the link. So, well, if I can spell it correctly, goodness me. Just as an example, apply. And then you would download that particular image as a PDF.
Okay.
If you've got premium images in there, you need to pay for them. Usually it's $1 for that particular image. But if you're going to use that image in a variety of marketing tools, so not just on one instance. So let's say it's just a Facebook post that stays there, then it's $1 fee that you use. Or if you want to use that image across multiple designs, okay, so then you pay for the $100. But if you want to be able to create something that needs to be sold as part of merchandise, so let's say it's as simple as a magazine that you're creating and reselling, then you need to pay for the extent.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes it's hard to understand which one it actually applies, but if it's just for this one design, you're not going to use it again, that's fine. It's just going to go on social media, done. It's $1. It's probably the cheapest option that I've found as far as utilizing images. And you've got on the left hand side here, so let's say I want to change that image, come over to here, you can use photos. It's tied into Pexels as far as I know. So let's say we want to find a new one for branding. You just enter the search term. You've got some other suggestions there in case you didn't come up with the right phrase, but or find the right image. But let's say I want this one. You can see whether they're free or whether they're paid. Usually they'll have a little $sign. Funnily enough, there's most of these are free. But you can also just click the button next to the search.
What are the ones that just have the crown beside them? It doesn't say free, or sometimes it doesn't say free or money. It just has like that little crown.
Best example would be marketing. Usually it throws up some paid ones there.
Or is it the crown means it's free? Just sorry, curiosity. If there's any difference.
Crown means it's free for sure.
Okay.
Usually, if I type in some kind of brand, it'll ask me to pay.
Okay.
Free. Oh, the crown. Sorry, it's because I'm a Canva Pro subscriber.
Oh, okay.
The Canva Pro allows you to create your branding kit, which is my next step of showing you how to set up your toolkit in Canva, if you like. There we go. Okay, so this one, if you want one that's a paid one, it comes up. It has a watermark on it until you pay for it.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So it does tell you whether they're paid. So it's got a little $ there. Okay, so now that I've picked an image, you can delete the one behind. Usually that's good practice, especially if the previous one was paid and this is a new design. So let's say I want to fill it, you can resize the image to fit that box there, or this really cool tool called grids. I don't know if you're familiar with, but let's say I want to have three images there. So by default, it fills the whole spot, but you can change, resize them however you want. You can also rotate them. So just for this instance here, I'll leave it rotated and I will show you how the images work. So just 3 random images, you just click and drag and it auto fills them, but you can double click and you can resize the image if you want to focus on a specific point in that, which is really cool. So just tying it up. And let's say, oops, no, I actually want 4 squares there. So you've got to, you've got to delete one image and then delete the actual grid itself back in the background, or you can use the tools at the top. But if you want another grid, same deal, drag your photos, and it's as easy as that. It's really quite handy to use. Now, just having a look at some of the tools now for font. Now, let's say you're tired of selecting the font. Okay, so if your font is Arial, all right, so then you can change it, but if you want to have your account only using your particular font, then okay, so let's have a look at the branding kits. So when you've got your branding kits, for myself, I've got a number of clients that I work with, so I'll have 5 or 6 at any time that I'm using. So you can see here all the uploaded fonts. This is my branding kit. So all these fonts are there, but for the DS Expo, it's Overpass. For ASBAS, it's EXO. So you can go in and select those. They're usually at the top. But if you are only representing one brand, it will be, by default, it'll be the branding kit that you have selected. So to access that, when you come into the front page, you will see, this is what you'll see, and then you can edit your brand kit here. So then you can upload your logo. This is when you have the Canva Pro. Okay, so it's quite negligible cost each month. You've got, I think it's about $15, $16, something like that. Pretty affordable, so to speak. I rarely pay for images that are, how do you say, not free. But usually when you're looking at things that are a bit more competitive and it's hard to find just that right image for that message, as Amanda was saying, it's usually you'll need to have a look outside the box. So, but you can also copy paste from other clip art sites and that sort of thing. So as you can see here, it's fairly easy to upload your logo. You just click on an image and it comes up in there. If you scroll down, then you've got your branding fonts. So Ranking Australia, it's this Archivo, the Arial Black. It's the main font for Ranking Australia. Then I've got all my clients here, so you can upload additional fonts. You can have additional fonts in there, and you can add your branding colors. So let's say I want to add another color in here, and it is this color code. Okay, and then you type it in, click enter, and there it is, and it'll be there in your designs when you refresh the page. and it saves automatically as well, which is fantastic. Let's say your computer crashes. You can see up here on the blue toolbar, all changes saved. So it'll keep your design in there, not like your computer crashing in the middle of a Photoshop design and it hasn't saved. Whoops. So, you know, it's all there ready to go. Now, if we want to change the font, the color of this font, let's say. Okay, so we come up here. Where's that new color that I had created? Right there. Okay, so it comes up pretty much straight away. You can see here some different examples from across different clients. So again, coming back to what are the service offerings, what is the mood that you want to create with your clients that should inform your posts, content, as well as your engagement or bringing the client back to promoting your business and focusing on, I guess, Amanda mentioned coming at it from a mother's perspective. So what is the images that you choose based on the clientele that you're focused on? This is for an electrician, naturally, who's at home most of the time. It can differ, but quite often it'll be the mum, and where they're quite conscious about saving money for the house. So that's what they have focused on for reducing my bill, so to speak. So there's a few different examples there, but you can notice here there's a light version of the font here for Montserrat. There's a regular version, and there's a bold version of the font as well.
Sorry to interrupt, Katrina. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hashtags and branding. Do you change them? Do you keep them consistent, or like how do you keep that mood going with your brand with the hashtags?
Great question. The hashtags are useful for SEO. I do try to keep them consistent, but again, you need to change it up from time to time. So that means that, let's say for the month, maybe 2 months, you'll keep it consistent, and because people will be looking forward to the next one. Then you may change it up for the next couple of months. So what is the deciding motivator for making those changes? Usually it'll be the ones that got more engagement with my page.
Mm-hmm.
And I would then focus on that for the next one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, understand.
If I had one that was particularly unnoticed, and usually I will use Google Analytics or Facebook Insights to determine when my users or followers are actually on the page to inform when I will post those. So keeping in mind that I've strategically timed and scheduled my posts, which ones were more successful, those are the ones I will continue and reinvent the others. So if that makes sense.
Do they help in building your brand overall? Like, do they create that feeling in people?
I do actually recommend to have maybe just one hashtag that is specific to your brand. So it's probably not necessarily going to produce like ranking results or do it in that strategic approach, which is what Katrina was saying before with, you know, changing it up. That's completely beneficial. Yeah, 100%. That's what you need to do on that front. But I do, sometimes it's just like a hashtag that's to your name or to perhaps like a tagline or a phrase that, you know, your business can consistently use. And it's more used on, that consistency basis. So your market becomes familiar with that. And then,
so for my, sorry to interrupt. So for the brand name being Your Deluxe VA, I've been hashtagging consistently Your Deluxe VA and hashtag virtual assistant, just because some people don't know what VA is. It's still in the market. So would you say that that's okay? Is that down the right path? Is what I...
I think it's down the right path. I would work on getting it more unique to you though. Even though that is your business name, you could probably afford to get maybe a bit playful with it, or something where the hashtag would be unique to you, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I suppose there's a lot of people that could use the word deluxe, and there's a lot of people that could use the word VA.
Yeah.
But I suppose when you do use it on a consistent platform and use it consistently, then people can get to know that that is specific to you.
Okay.
And that's why I only say don't go crazy with it, just keep it to maybe one. In some cases though, some of our businesses don't use a hashtag in that way. It's just another strategy that you can use.
Yep.
Sorry to sidetrack you.
That's fine. No, look, it's very relevant. There's a lot of feelings about hashtags, but definitely you don't want to use any more than 1 or 2 hashtags in any post, for sure. I just find it, well, people are comfortable with hashtags, so I tend to use it as not only for the searchability for it, but also for part of adding to the design as well.
Okay.
That makes sense. So, but you can see that there's consistency with the use of the logo and creating an identity for the different brands that are being presented here today. So, what else did I want to, were there any questions about Canva specifically? I wanted to show you a video in here next, but I do realize that we are pushing time today. So do we have any questions?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, Katie, go ahead.
Yeah, Katrina, with I struggle with doing like making transparencies. So I use clipping magic. So does Canva have anything like that they could clip around an image, or?
So in other words, to remove the background? Yes, of course it is. I will show you.
I've yet to see how to do that.
Okay, so let's use this funny looking lemon. All right, let's resize him. Okay. All right, so we want a PNG image and ta-da, transparent background.
So it's only in the pro options?
It's only in the pro options, yes.
Okay.
That's,
okay.
yeah, I've got, yeah. You don't have pro, that option doesn't come up.
There's,
Well, say if you want to just cut out the leaf.
if you want to just cut out the leaf.
Yeah. You can't.
Yeah.
If there's parts of an image you just want to crop and get rid of and still have a transparent background.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have the drawing abilities just yet.
Okay.
But you can crop an image.
Yeah, which
would just about cut out the leaf.
Yeah. Okay.
If that makes sense. So you can crop, you can resize, you can fill it in, you can potentially cover up that segment. You know, so you can do that. There's another aspect here, photos. So really cool tool I discovered recently, actually. I think it's a new add-on to Canva. So we've got effects that we can utilize. Have a look here. So let's say we want to get funky and do a retro version.
Is this only in pro as well, or is this every?
I believe this is only available in pro.
Okay.
But I haven't used it not being in pro, so I can't be 100% sure.
Oh, look up there. It says background remover.
Yeah, so that's the deep etching. Is that what you were referring to before?
Yeah. See?
So background remover, we can try that. Because of the nature of what I do, I haven't used the background remover tool yet. But let's have a look at it. Remove the background of your image with one click.
Yeah, if I can get rid of paying for Clipping Magic every month. But I might pay for me to have this.
The idea of utilizing Canva is because it gives you so much power in one program that you shouldn't have to need one program for it specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's going to take away all the people. Oh, how cool is
That's
that?
what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Yay!
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, I'm going to get rid of Clipping Magic now because that's like $8 a month. Everything adds up.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow, that's awesome.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yes. That's what I needed.
Beautiful. So I'm glad that's useful.
That's so good.
That's amazing.
The only drama with that though is you can see here some of the iPad has disappeared. So it's not perfect.
Yeah. But it's something. That's great.
Yes, definitely. And you don't necessarily need visual or graphic design skills to utilize Photoshop to do so. So it's quite handy. So there's also, you can upload your own videos and photos and logos within the designs as well.
Yeah.
You can see your previous designs here in the folders.
Oh.
And let's say you want to add, be really cheeky and add an old slide, pop that in over that. So it makes it, how do you say, really time efficient.
Yeah.
And so here's a video that I put up on Ranking Australia's Facebook page, but I didn't have any background music. So let's add some background music. It can also do this.
Oh, you're kidding.
So epic. Let's
Oh.
add some epic music to that. Sound. Okay. I haven't used the music tool, so this is a new tool for me yet, but I know you can. Let's download it and see what happens. That's a video. It is a new add-in, by the way. So you can download them all as a zip file, or you can download just that one. Just looking for it. It's page 2. So just that one, download. And then we will see the music hopefully playing in the background. But it's pretty much drag and drop images and just playing with the resizing. The tools are there, the branding kit is there. So it's a lot of fun. And I was previously using Photoshop for all of my marketing, all of my branding. It's possibly I'm using all the bandwidth for the Zoom session and it won't let me download. So I will download it with it and upload it to the Toolkit event so you guys can have a look as well. So, and I'll make the slides available if that's okay, Amanda?
Yes, yep, not a problem.
That would be great. Wow.
Prior to discovering Canva, I was utilizing Photoshop. So anyone who's utilized Photoshop before will be very aware that it takes a lot of your time, and Canva is becoming more and more, how do you say, there's more and more functionality coming through the program every year that there's no need to use Photoshop. I can do for the most part, what I was doing in Photoshop. The only limitations naturally is that you don't have control over the drawing, and you can't add shadow yet. But
I have another question because I have a lot of clients that send items to me in PDFs.
Yep.
Can you edit PDFs in Canva?
Can you upload a PDF in Canva? Amanda, what's the answer to that question?
Are you upload or edit the PDF?
Pardon?
Did you want to edit the PDF?
Yes. So I've got clients that send their items to me or they want changes on their websites because I do website design as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll send it to me in a PDF and then I've got to cut it up and...
I'm not sure if Canva's equipped to do that, because I'm sure it will probably import it as just like a straight image. However, I've edited PDFs in Adobe Acrobat, and that's where you can take individual images and text straight out of the document without having to
still need a separate tool for that. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, Adobe monopolize on on all those tools. So yeah, unless Canva produces something, I haven't known Canva to do that just yet.
No. We have tried uploading PDFs to the Canva platform. It doesn't upload documents, but it may upload an individual image. So a single page PDF. I have not tried though. Generally, I'll upload an image myself. And one thing I didn't show you as well is, so if we have a new one here, so let's say I want to create something for, we can find the image in Canva, but this is just to show you copy paste. So let's say go to images. Mind you, you've got to be aware of copyright issues as well. So right click, copy image.
I just had to send a message. I didn't mean to look like I was being vague. I actually was listening.
No worries, that's fine.
Well, so you could just copy paste and not save it and have to upload it.
You can copy paste, you don't have to save it.
Nice.
But if you try and right click paste, it
Like it.
it will tell you to use your keyboard shortcuts.
Okay.
So these are showing my Macintosh, my Apple shortcuts. So it should show you your Control V, Control X, and Control C for any PCs as well. So it recognizes what device you're on, which is lovely. But yeah, so a lot of power there, and you can create so many different things. So just to finish up, so I know that we all have our day to get back to, and we've gone well and truly over time, so my apologies. You've got a lot of templates with existing images and layouts as well.
Yeah.
So whether you want to create anything from a resume, flyer, Facebook post, to an actual PowerPoint presentation even, and present right here from Canva, as you saw before. So if you click the present button, it works just like PowerPoint.
Oh, wow.
And you can edit the transitions. You can have autoplay, presenter view to show your notes as well. So, and then you can share them as well. And you can add team members in here, as Nikki has discovered as well. So you can create your own folders to keep everything separate. It's endless, it really is, and it's amazing. There's also tutorials that you can get access to as well. So, and you can create custom dimensions, which I use quite often because of Eventbrite and Facebook videos being very specific sizes.
Yeah.
So, any questions?
No, that's been great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been really good.
It's been kind of a crash course in branding for you all. So Amanda, I know that I'm looking forward to session 2, possibly later on in the year, maybe April. Let's see. We'll have a chat about that. But I will export the slides for you ladies, and I'll pop them a link into your email for you to access.
Great. Thanks so much.
No.
Yeah, really good.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Not a problem. Lovely meeting you both, ladies.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Bye.